Silver just keeps breaking records. Sooner or later, the ultimate record could be broken. I'll explain what that is later in the video. But first, let's talk about what happened with silver today, almost pushing to $61 an ounce. Let's explore. That's right, silver is on fire. In what I think is an unexpected move, it has exploded 4.47% right now, 8 cents shy of the session high of $60.88. It is now resting at $60.80, massively outperforming by double percentage points of the other metals there. Now, my friends at Summit Metals, they have silver in stock. If you are in the mood to buy, or if you feel like this is a time to get in, I would caution you before you make any purchase and understand that the markets are volatile. But nonetheless, whether you want to buy or sell, Summit Metals is a great place to go. Check them out in the description below to experience their great customer service for yourself. So gold went up as well, but not nearly as much. It is back above $4,200, a 0.47% increase. $19.70 up to $4,211. Platinum is up over 2.6%, up $44, now breaking through the $1,700 mark. Palladium is up over 2%, up $33, over $1,500 an ounce for palladium. All the metals are doing well. And mining.com is reporting part of what's happening here is the precious metal continues to attract bids amidst concerns over a market deficit. That's right, they're starting to look at that now, looking at the deficit of the metal, and supply chain issues are still weighing in on silver, and the market is reacting, all but ignoring really what the Fed is going to do. It's pretty much baked in that the Fed is going to cut rates by a quarter of a percentage point when they make that announcement, I think tomorrow. But nonetheless, spot silver rose well over 4% today, and keeping the momentum of a record-breaking rally that has lasted for nearly 2 months. And the volume of trading has been sporadic, but mostly up today, with these trades happening in interesting patterns, by the way, that as far as the volume is concerned, that leaves some people questioning, well, hey, looks like they're not getting away with it this time, or maybe the manipulation is happening in the other direction. Who knows? Driving this surge was a supply crunch caused by a historic squeeze that hit the London market back in October. While that concern has eased in recent weeks, global supply remains tight, with Chinese inventories now hovering at their lowest in over a decade. And behind the move was the expectation of a U.S. interest rate cut this week, which would be positive for safe haven assets such as gold and, by extension, silver. But really, that has not tell us much more than what we already knew. It's getting a bid this morning alongside gold ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting, with the market pricing in a near certainty of a 25 basis point cut. In fact, it's at 87% right now, which is kind of where it was yesterday. Silver's first surpassed its October peak in a choppy trading session as a chaotic halt in the COMEX exchange in late November dried out liquidity. And of course, we know the outage as well that had occurred. A lot of people question. We still need an investigation as to what happened there. The holiday session of low physical trading in London over-the-counter also amplified the move. It takes silver now surpassing $60 an ounce for the first time ever. The metal has now doubled in value this year, even surpassing the 60% gain seen in gold. In fact, we look at other headlines starting to make big news from other larger news organizations. The Washington Post even has an article on silver in its move today. Their headline reads, "It's behind a paywall, but silver prices just smashed a new record. What does this mean for the economy?" Of course, they're going to spin it their way, but nonetheless, we're setting that happening there, and this is something that is a big player as to what's going on. Forbes is reporting that silver has hit $60 for the first time, and why prices are outpacing gold. Over 4%, the silver has moved. New York Commodities Exchange as of Tuesday afternoon, while silver futures jumped more than 4%. to over $61 an ounce. The fastest surge in silver prices comes as traders are pricing in an 87% odds at the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates by a quarter point. And that's according to the Fed Watch tool, as I've talked about. And the dollar index has also dropped 8.5% this year, including a 0.5% decline over the last month. So the dollar is weakening some, and that is what we're witnessing here. It is now up slightly, though, to 99.25 right now on the day. And of course, we know that silver was added to the U.S. Geological Survey's list of critical minerals in November, indicating that the metal is vital for the U.S. economy. I think that's really more of an impetus to try to get silver mined in country. Places like Alaska and Nevada, other places where there's some silver resources. I think that's what that move is about. I don't think that necessarily is playing that big of a role in the price, although it may contribute some. Supply in silver's global trading hub London disappeared earlier this year, as we talked about. We've on this channel, and we're seeing no liquidity available in October. But now they're still recovering from it. But we're now at the point now when we've got silver performing about 109% this year. That's how much spot silver has increased, outpacing gold, which has surged 60% while settling several milestones. Spot gold has increased just 0.4% over the last day, but the silver has far outperformed it. Despite silver's record-setting year, Wall Street has warned that gold may still be the safer investment. Goldman Sachs wrote in October it expects silver to experience more volatility and downside price risk. That's what we should watch out for. As I talked about in a previous video, a warning by a major precious metals company, Herreras. So I hope you will check that out. I posted that video this morning. I'll link to it to the end screen here. But the gold to silver ratio has now narrowed to, wait for it, 69.35, below 70. Amazing. So this is quite a breakthrough for silver, surging, and we're experiencing it right now. It is pretty amazing to see silver rise as much as it has, breaking through comfortably way past that $60 mark and heading to $61. Just remarkable. What a time this is for silver. Something for sure that you can celebrate if you've been holding on to the metal. But remember, there's other things that are coming down the pike, and this is part of that bull run that's happening. And more than likely, once we see what Jerome Powell says in the presser tomorrow, could be a game changer for silver. And be prepared that if it leans hawkish, that could definitely be a bad sign for silver, and we could see maybe even most of the gains today disappear. But there's another report that I'm going to be referencing too from Adrian Ash about what happened with the jobs numbers that have come out here that could have played a pretty big role in silver's price moving up. Ultimately, the latest note from analysts for German precious metal refiners Herreras, as I've talked about, silver is a higher beta and more volatile investment than gold. But today's jump in the silver price we saw it move up literally about 2.5% in about 70 minutes, came in after the delayed JOLTS data followed this fall's record-long U.S. government shutdown, said job openings for the world's largest economy rose in both September and October. Tomorrow's meeting at the U.S. Federal Reserve still carries a 9 in 10 chance of bringing cuts to the interest rates, but it very well could be the calculus for what the pressure could be, and that is going to be good for gold and silver, especially silver. So we'll see how that plays. But nonetheless, there you go. What a day it has been for silver. And I think at this point in time, we need to have a full understanding of what this means, that a radical move to the upside means at any point in given time, even if we see several more days like this, where we could see it move back in the opposite direction. A consolidation point is coming. Prepare for it, folks. But nonetheless, hold on to what you got. I think your core stack no matter what. And if you do liquidate, understand that many places are giving 5% back a spot for silver. I talked to a local coin shop today, and they are saying the same thing. They're paying about 5% back a spot, depending on what you sell. They're paying more for coins like Silver Eagles than they are privately issued bullion rounds and bars like this. But indeed, they are selling, but they're also selling now because of the Christmas season. People are buying Christmas rounds and the like, and some silver products for gifts. But there's not nearly as much buying right now at this point in time as there is selling, and it's understandable. So then people are probably happy to take 5% back a spot because they're doing very well. Again, 109% increase this year is remarkable. So there is that, and just have the understanding that whenever you buy, the price could fall, and I do think we're going to see a consolidation point coming in the near future. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.